What's up, guys? I'm at the Ohio Fish Rescue, and I wanted to get Big Rich on video doing some work around here.
Oh my God. Someone finally catches it. Jesus Christ.
He's always...
I always work. I'm nonstop. Look how sweaty these arms are. Do you see this right here? See how white that is? That's because I'm out here in the sun working all day, every day. Don't let them kid you.
He does do work behind the scenes. He is normally the camera guy, but he does do a ton of work.
Why you never see me working.
We got Josh over here. They were putting up this new awning for the side of the house, and I am here. Here's
that's the last piece we need to put up now.
That's the rest of it. This is what was on the back of the house. I'm here cutting. I just got one length of this done. Now it's time to do the other side.
Tilt this over that way. I'll get all these rocks off.
Here's Big Rich doing some work with his massive blower.
DeWalt, baby. DeWalt works.
All right, guys. I thought I'd do an update on the stands with Papa Shrimp. That's Jerry. He's out here helping out at Ohio Fish Rescue. Started cutting on the second Bellagio stand. I got my America bandana on because the steel is flying. It's chewing up the blades pretty quick. They're overheating, so I'm swapping out a blade. There goes Josh. He's doing fishy things. But these are carbide tip. I know some people were asking about more information on modifying the stands. These are Diablo Steel Demons. I got these at Home Depot. They're like 30 bucks a piece. I believe they're rated up to 1/4-inch thick steel. I'm sure you can cut thicker with it. This tube steel is 1/4-inch, and it's cutting it perfectly fine. The issue that I've mentioned before, and it's been in the live streams, is the welds on this stand. Talking to my father, who's a pretty experienced welder, he said they probably use stainless filler to make it a stronger weld because it is chewing the blades up. But I'm going to swap out blades and get moving on finishing the rest of these stands. Here's the first Bellagio tank stand. It's in the building. I do have to fix 1, 2, and 3. When I did my guide to cut the stands, I accidentally flipped the guide on the wrong side, so these 3 are cut too high. It's easy fix. I just gotta recut 3 of these. The marks are already there. I won't need to use the jig since it's already marked. I can just cut them and fix this, and this stand modifications will be done, and it'll be ready to be leveled. We brought it in here so we can level it to their floor. Their floor in here is really level to begin with, but this is basically fully custom leveled to their floor. I'll tack it. I'll tack every leg, just tack welds, get it to where it's perfect, and then I can finish burning it in. And when you guys, here's a tip or a trick if you guys ever want to build your own stands, if you're a welder, like a hobbyist welder like I am, you don't want to weld every single leg in a row. Steel, when it gets really hot, it warps. And I can show an example on the stand out there. I'm pretty sure they welded it just straight down the line. You want to do, so each leg has 4 welds. If you think of 4 sides, you only really want to weld one side and then do a crisscross pattern to spread the heat out and let the heat dissipate so you don't warp the top or bottom, wherever you're welding. So when I was saying about welding all together, as soon as this cut through, you can see how far this jumped over. I would guess that they probably welded the ends first, and then they just went straight down the line, welded it all together. And you can see how much stuff wants to walk out of position. Alright guys, it's weekend number 3 at Ohio Fish Rescue. I'm outside on the side of their house. This is that roof that we put up last weekend. Anyways, I want to talk about some more information on welding these stands and a couple things that I guess kind of slipped my mind I haven't mentioned yet and that I want to is safety gear. Now I'm doing a lot of grinding, so you really need safety glasses. It's a must. This is just a pair I keep in my truck, and make sure that they're legit safety glasses. And legit safety glasses will have a code stamped usually on the inside edge, and it should be a Z number. This is Z87 plus, and if it doesn't have that Z number, then it's not, I don't know if it's OSHA approved, but it's probably not a legit pair. So make sure you get a good pair of safety glasses, especially when you're grinding, working around metal and stuff like that. The other part of that protection is hearing protection. Grinding's not super loud. The circular saw was pretty loud. And it's not that it might not be super loud, it's the repetitive, continuous noise. These aren't earmuffs. These are actually headphones that I use at work when I'm working on cars to listen to music. Anything helps. So they are padded. It does reduce the noise. And then they're Bluetooth, so I can turn on some music to listen to while I'm working. If you don't have earmuffs, you can use, just like I am, some like AirPods or just, you know, your music headphones. Anything to help block out the outside noise. So protect yourselves, guys. That's going to be, I guess, my tip for this video is protection of your eyes and ears, face, whatever you're doing, be safe. But I'm going to show you what I'm doing today and where I'm at. Alright guys, so this stand's about ready to be welded. What's going to happen is I'm going to tack weld all the legs, not fully weld, just tack it in. We're doing it inside the fish room so that way it's level to their floor. This is 100% custom. In case their floor is tilted either direction, it's going to be level, built specifically for the Ohio Fish Rescue. Once it's leveled, we're going to tack it in place, all these legs, and then once some more help gets here, we got to carry this thing back out the door, and I'm going to finish welding it outside where the sparks can fly and we don't have to worry about these tanks, these fish. We put up these boards next to the tank to protect any kind of little slags pieces from shooting over and hitting this nice wood finish. And then Josh is on an errand right now. When he gets back, he's going to hold up a blanket to protect the acrylic and to protect the fish from seeing the welding arc. You know, it's not good to look at a welding arc. If it's not good for us to look at, it's not good for the fish. Josh got the fish out of this tank, so that way we don't have to worry about trying to, you know, block them. And obviously we got to protect Pittsburgh because he's just a cutie. Look at that guy. So we want to protect him, so we're going to cover this tank. Make sure he can't watch the flash arc. Once this is tacked, I guess really we want to probably flip it up on its side, push it over, bring this stand in a bit, bring in the top, tack it, and also take it out. It's a lot of work today. I did plan to be here today and tomorrow because it is a lot of work. Way underestimated this project. But so here's what I'm working on right now. This is the second stand top. It was cut off last weekend. I'm coming through and I'm grinding down these welds. Now with this, the cuts aren't perfect on the stands inside. I did run the jig, but even just a degree off on a cut makes everything off on the whole stand. Not a big deal. So basically, that's what the tacking and the leveling's for. Once it's tacked, if the stand fits flush right here, but not on this end, I can fill that weld in. These welds are not structural. All the weight's on the legs. I just basically have to have it welded together to hold everything in place. But I gotta go through. You can see I did that one, in that one. I skipped a couple. I did these, and I'm testing out a new disc. I knew about them. I haven't used one before. Let me show you. It's called a flap disc. It's basically sandpaper that they align 60 grit. And this thing's hot right now, so that's why I'm doing this video, just letting it cool. Try to take care of your tools. This is a very cheap grinder. It's a Drill Master from Harbor Freight. These are throwaway to me. When I buy tools, I either buy really high-end tools or I buy really cheap stuff. So stuff that I need to be precise or last forever, I will buy high-end tools. Through my day job, I'm a mechanic. I'll use, you know, Snap-on, Matco, Mac Tools, Cornwell, stuff like that. But something with a grinder, I think those things, you can get those on sale for like 10 bucks, maybe 15 bucks. That's a throwaway to me. If it lasts me 6 months, I'm totally cool with it. Basically at $10 for that grinder, if it makes it through this whole OFR project, that's a win for me. If I were to buy a nice one, maybe I'd get like a DeWalt, a Makita, something like that, even a Bosch. Throwaway tool, not a big deal. I actually keep multiples at my house. I have one with a cutoff wheel, one with a grinding disc. It's easier for me just to swap between two tools than swap the discs out. But these flap wheels, I guess I'm getting off track here, guys. Sorry. The flap wheel, it does a really nice finish job for sure. It really makes it smooth. They advertise these things as like 40% quicker material removal. And I mean, they're doing a good job, but the reason I skipped those two down there is because they were thicker. There was more weld on it that I need to grind through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind all the small ones. I'm going to hit a couple of the thicker welds, and then I'm going to switch this disc out back to a standard grinding wheel, and that way it's fresh in my head, like which one's better, and I'll let you guys know. So if you ever have to do a steel project, are these flap wheels worth it or not? Now, if you're just trying to remove paint, this thing does pretty good, but with sandpaper gets clogged fairly easily. You can kind of see like the outside edges are getting a little beat up, but I do have like 1 or 2 more of these flap discs. So yeah, I'll give them a good run and let you guys know what I think. So far they're doing pretty good. But let me get back at this and I'll show you where it's at once I'm done. Alright guys, so here's where I'm at. That corner's done. This whole side's done, and I'm working my way back up. I'm done right here. I got 4 left to grind. I did switch out to a standard grinding wheel. This is also from Harbor Freight. It's the Hercules brand. They're just a couple bucks, $3 or whatever a piece. I wanted to give you my input between a grinding wheel and that flap disc. The grinding wheel definitely removes material a lot quicker. It's way more aggressive. It helps to cut through this weld a lot faster. But the flap wheel definitely leaves a smoother finish. You see it's like a little bit more polished looking. That's the flap wheel. And then where's a grinder one? So here's one. It's a grinder. You can see more of the nicks in the steel. That's from a grinder versus the flap wheel, but it does move a lot more material, which is what I need to do on this job. If it was a finished product, I'd use the flap wheel, maybe use the grinding wheel, cut it down, then go back over the flap wheel. But being that this is about to be welded and you won't see that, it doesn't need to have a mirror finish or anything like that. But anyways, I got 4 of these left to grind down, and then this thing will be ready. Alright guys, here's another tip for you. So when you're welding, this is the grounding clamp for the welder. It has to be on the metal And when you have a stand like this, there's nowhere to clip this to. What you can do is you can take an old bolt, I ground down the paint, I welded the bolt, and the way you weld it, you just stick the ground clamp on it, and then you weld it on. It's just kind of tack welded on. And now I have a ground clamp. I put it in the center of the stand so the welder should be able to move down this whole thing, and I can use that to ground. And then once I'm done, I only welded this side of the bolt. I can just take the bolt and rock it off, and then take my grinder and smooth that out. There's a little tip if you ever need to weld and you don't have somewhere to put your clamp, because the clamp needs to be on bare metal. So I can't just clamp it to the paint. I could grind this down to put the clamp on, but this is 2-inch square tube. That clamp's not going to fit around that to grab it. You can also use like a metal C-clamp. If you had like a little bit of metal showing, you could put a C-clamp on it and then put your clamp on the C-clamp. I just find it easier, just take an old bolt and weld it on as a stud. I'm gonna get back, I tacked that corner down there, that corner, and then I'm gonna start working. I'm checking, make sure everything's level as I go. And I'm going to probably tack in this section next, go down there. Once I know that's tacked and all 4 corners and a couple of the middles are tacked and everything's still level, I'll go through, tack the rest of the uprights, and then we got to pull this stand outside. Alright guys, here's another little trick when building stands, or really anything that's steel like this. So when we cut the top off, these legs all sprung in different directions because they were under stress when welded. The top, instead of welding like a little bit here, a little bit here, you know, zigzagging down, spraying the heat out, I'm pretty sure they just welded in a straight line down. And once we cut the top off, all the stress released. So everything kind of sprung in different directions. As you see, I got a level on here, and as I go, I'm checking the level front to back and side to side. So the stand's gonna be level to their floor. On this corner, this leg was sprung out that way, and to pull it in, we're using a ratchet strap. So the ratchet strap just goes around the bar. I have it on this outside this leg, so it's pulling this leg directly this way. Now, if this bar or if this leg was out this way and that way, I could run this ratchet strap on this side of the bar, and it's going to try to force it that way. So depending on which way I need these legs to go, whether it's this way or that way, it's how I'll set up this ratchet strap. Super easy way to pull things into place to where I need them to be once this is all welded up. Now, if I was building the stand from scratch, there wouldn't be any tension on it to begin with. You would just weld it together. But because now I have to correct for any kind of tension there was, I'm pulling it back into place and weld it. This pry bar is in here because to level this tank, this needed up a little bit, so I can manipulate the height of this corner using a pry bar to get it level going that way, and whichever direction I need to level it this way, tack it in, I can knock this out and then go back in and weld it. That's my next tip, and I'm just going to keep on rolling. Alright guys, it's the last day to get these stands done. This is the first stand. It's done. It was over against this boat. It's just Josh and myself here, and we had to find a way to move this stand that's extremely heavy. It was right here. We need to move it over so I can get the other stand out here to weld it. Basically what we did is we tilted the stand, since all the weight's right here, we tilted the stand this way, and we used a floor jack, which is in there, right there. We used the floor jack, got under, we're able to put a dolly, did it down there, able to move it. Now Josh is grabbing a couple more dollies so we can get the other stand out here. So that's where we're at.
for your video, right?
Yeah, I'm just doing like kind of like quick extra behind the scenes stuff.
So for those of you that don't know, we're taking this grinder, we are grinding down the weld, so when you run your fingers across this, it's nice and flat. And when you paint this, you won't basically see this weld line, but this is the front side, so I'm only doing the fronts and these front corners. So I'm gonna go ahead and follow this beam around the corner and make this all flat and smooth.
In case you guys don't know, when you weld, you're physically adding more material into the joint. So that's when you get what's called the bead. And that's what, when you see a weld, that's extra material. Now, when you want it nice and smooth, especially if you're gonna put like a face across the front of this, like plywood or anything like that, you want it smooth so whatever lays on it is flat. And then also aesthetically, it looks nicer once you grind it and paint it, it's all one piece. Alright guys, that's it for this video. It's like 11 o'clock Sunday night. I got home around 9 p.m. I know this video was pretty long. I just kind of wanted to put together everything I recorded over the past few weekends. The stands are done. Stay tuned on OFR's channel to see those tanks come alive. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to this channel. And I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you around.